from a web. No, we can't. He's a pig. Look out. He is a spider pig. Spider pig. Spider pig. Does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, we can't. He's a pig. Look out. He is a spider pig. Spider pig. Spider pig. Does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, we can't. He's a pig. Look out. He is a spider pig. Spider pig. Spider pig. Does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, we can't. He's a pig. Look out. He is a spider pig. Spider pig. Spider pig. Does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, we can't. He's a pig. Look out. He is a spider pig. Spider pig. Spider pig.
Yeah. It's this. Code DON 2023 to receive an epic reward. Plus, you'll be helping out the channel. It's your boy Goku. And this song goes out to all my Chi-Chis. And I want y'all to get on the Nimbus and just throw that ass back. Like, ha, yeah, yeah. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. I was surprised when Chi-Chi threw it back. I was like, damn, look at that ass clap. I said, go ahead, make that ass pop. You finna catch this Kamehameha. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. That booty made me turn Super Saiyan 5. Chi-Chi threw it back and made my power level rise. I heard Frieza came back and he trying to fight. I would save the world, but I'm preoccupied. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Thanks for watching, hit the like, dog. Thanks for watching, hit the like, dog. Like, dog. Stop playing, hit the like, dog. Look at the merch. Oh my God. Look at the merch. Ooh, look at the merch. Oh my God. Look at the merch.
The Saiyans were pretty weak. Vegeta, the strongest Saiyan working under Frieza, wasn't even the strongest member of Frieza's army. Or was he? People just look at Vegeta's power level of 18,000 and think he gets beaten by Frieza's mid-tier fighters like Zarbon and Dodoria, but with the Ozaru form, Vegeta has a power level of 180,000. That makes him stronger than Captain Ginyu, and by extension, the strongest member of Frieza's army. Saiyans were only getting stronger with each passing generation, so eventually, even an Ozaru Saiyan could be enough to challenge Frieza's throne. No wonder he wiped them out.
Welcome back, fellas, to another Dragon Ball Kakumi video. Chapter 25 is finally out, and after what we saw last month, this one couldn't come soon enough. At the end of last month's chapter, Broly showed up out of nowhere and grabbed up Dula before he could cause any more trouble, but not only that, he also seems to have mastered his rage. Whether that be temporary or permanent remains to be seen still. The intro for chapter 25 tells us that over on Earth, training intensifies at Dende Sanctuary. The latter shares the history of his people and their special characteristics with the Namekians of Universe 6. Are they here because Piccolo plans to show them the hyperbolic time chamber maybe? Links to all these creators of Dragon Ball Kakumi will be down below in the comments, and if you guys are excited for more content like this, consider leaving a like on the video and subscribing. But without further ado, let's hop right in. Broly's grip is far too strong for Dula to just break free, so he chops the arm off and regenerates it. Huh? He doesn't look mad anymore, Dula says as he notices Broly looks a lot less berserk now. Broly would then land next to a sobbing King Sadala. He apologizes for everything, the fit of rage, the senseless slaughter of his own brothers, and he shockingly chops King Sadala in the neck, knocking him out cold. The other Saiyans around don't really know what to make of this, but if they couldn't handle an out-of-control Broly, I would just leave this one alone. Wait a minute, Admiral Ruba interrupts them. He's not acting like he did before. He seems to be in full control at last. Please get your king to safety, Broly tells them. When all this is over, I'll accept my punishment. The Saiyans are in disbelief and honestly have no clue what to do until Admiral Ruba would speak up once again, commanding his forces to just do what Broly says. This mastered rage form of Broly has yet to show his true power, but I think it's pretty safe to say that Broly has never looked so calm, yet so dangerous before. You, he roars as he begins approaching Dula. Dula sticks out his hand and tries to stop Broly with a blast, but it doesn't look like he plans on blocking, dodging, or even caring about Dula's attack. The explosion goes off, but when the smoke clears up, as we could probably already guess, Broly is unharmed and hasn't stopped his slow walk towards Dula, who is definitely backing off now. Dula flies into the air and creates another massive blast this time and launches it towards Broly, hoping to make some sort of impact, but again, no effect, as Dula himself says that Broly seems almost invincible at this point. These two are now entire clips away from each other as Broly reaches out an arm asking, "You can regenerate, right?" Well, why on earth would he be asking that? When Broly closes the distance, he uses the exact same technique Dula used on Chile to pierce him through the torso, getting it all the way back in blood. "And that's how you did this, huh?" he says. He pulls his hand out. That was for Chile. "Now regenerate," he demands. "You filthy," Dula begins as he writhes in pain, but is able to regenerate before permanent damage is done. "You're gonna pay for that, I assure you," he goes on. "See what you've just done," Broly continues, giving Dula the meanest glare ever. Chile wasn't so lucky though. "Come on, you can't trick me forever," Dula utters. Broly goes to throw another punch, but Dula is barely able to get another portal up in time. From out of the portal comes some sort of slicing attack that nearly gets him, but he's able to come away with only a face cut. All around him, Dula sets up a number of these attacks, but Broly may just be invincible in this form after all with how much tanking he's doing. "Dula," Amaran says, calling to his subordinate telepathically. "Venerable Heir," Dula answers. "Salaga is dead," Amaran tells him, which sends a shock through Dula's entire body. "Unleash yourself," Amaran commands him, as there is nothing really left to be reserved about. "Yeah," Dula replies as he undergoes a similar transformation to the one we saw Salaga take on at the climax of his battle as well, what seems to be kind of like the full potential or release of their magical powers. Broly appears right above him, but when he lands before Dula this time, the sorcerer is finally ready to go all out and leave it all on the battlefield. "Bring it on," Broly tells him, with Dula replying that he couldn't have said it any better himself. Dula launches another massive slashing attack, this one on a much larger scale, and while it does cause some visible damage to Broly, it doesn't really look like it's affecting the legendary Super Saiyan too much. Broly does acknowledge the massive change in the ferocity of Dula's attacks though, as he says to himself the force of these blows and precision increased tenfold. He didn't even see it coming. Could it be his magic? "My physical strength is far less than yours, but my magic can make up for this without any problem," Dula says as he appears behind Broly again. "I am Dula the Summoner, and I'll show you what the honor of my nickname is worth." Broly throws a kick, but his opponent is already gone. Next, Dula would create 5 enormous portals around Broly as he tells him to go on and show me how you defend yourself against this. These portals are huge, Broly says, stunned. From the portals, demonic monsters start emerging, but Broly refuses to back down and actually makes the first move. He splattered the first monster with a catastrophic punch to the face. The next one was able to catch Broly in his blind spot and smashes him to the ground with his fist. Underneath that monster's fist though, Broly begins firing a monstrous blast of his own, only to be met with a similar attack from his opponent. The massive beam clash between these two behemoths looks almost equal, but Broly's new form is showing a type of strength that even the legendary Super Saiyan isn't the most familiar with. Broly roars with power and overwhelms the monster with his attack, blasting his head clean off his shoulders. Unfortunately, it looks like Broly may be exhausting a bit too much power as his eyes start blinking out again and that out of control look starts coming back. This form exhausts me. I could lose control at any moment. I've got to stay focused, Broly thinks to himself. Above him though, another monster is about to smash him underneath his foot again, but Broly deadass just caught the foot and then launches himself and this stupid monster into the sky. Yeah, Dula, he is looking kinda indestructible, I'm not gonna lie to you. It looks like you might have bit off a little bit more than a side character can chew. Broly would launch himself high into the outer atmosphere, dragging the monster with him, and when he gets high enough, he tosses the monster even further out in space, and it's good riddance for that fella. Over on the battlefield, there's still another enemy to take care of, so Broly heads back. You're the last one, Broly says as he goes on to make pretty quick work of the last demon, skating down his arm and in one powerful burst, blasting this guy's head clean off as well. But because of all of this constant energy consumption in this form, Broly is slowly losing more and more control as the form continues to burn up his stamina and energy. I've got to finish this quick. Where did he go, Broly asks. Behind you, imbecile, Dula calls out as he then summons the mothership. It's useless, Broly replies as he begins to fire another blast, but the exhaustion is really catching up with him now. With every passing second and every attack, Broly's grip on his own power was slowly slipping away, and now it seems like he's gone again. He's lost control again, Dula says. Luck is always on my side. Dula sends a punch through a portal and hits Broly right in the chin, but he may have honestly just knocked more sense into him than anything as Broly continues trying to shake off the rage taking him over. You all came here just to hurt me and my friends, Broly says to Dula. I will never be able to forgive you now. You can no longer escape. Dula simply replies, however, that he is just a pawn on the chessboard. But don't worry, I take responsibility for everything I do, he says. Yeah, I'm stuck here. Too bad for you, he finishes. Venerable heir, he calls out as he envisions the current battle between Vegeta and Amaran. So with a smirk and in the final panel of Dragon Ball Kakumi Chapter 25, Dula the Summoner would undergo another transformation and release the full extent of his power this time. I'm sorry, Venerable heir, but I've made my choice, Dula finishes as his transformation completes along with Chapter 25 of Dragon Ball Kakumi. Perfect Legendary Super Saiyan Broly versus Full Power Dula, and Vegeta versus God of Destruction Amaran marks the beginning of war, starting on Universe 6's planet Sadala, and soon to be spread across the entire multiverse when Kansei, the Mother of the Angels, is truly ready to make her move. With Goku still sealed away in absence and the very visible and weird stress the Grand Priest is under recently, does the currently known multiverse really stand a chance at the end of the day? Let me know down below in the comments what you guys thought of this month's chapter of Dragon Ball Kakumi. I know all of us really have been waiting on Broly to come back, and he has not disappointed ever since he hit the black and white again. I appreciate you guys watching until the end as always, and really quick PSA before we get out of here, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and have those notifications turned on, because this weekend is going to be host the Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour 2024, and along with the Dragon Ball Daima panel and the Xenoverse 2 update, it's also already been confirmed that we will be getting a brand new Dragon Ball Sparking Zero trailer at Battle Hour, and I know none of you guys want to miss that. I got no idea what they're going to be showing. Hopefully we see a little bit more gameplay, but at the end of the day, the only thing I really want for Sparking Zero at Battle Hour is a release date, or at least the damn season is coming out. Some of the chatter on social media is revolving around the expectations of gameplay functions being talked about, maybe a little bit of talk about a DLC Pack 1. Give me a release date and let's get all this split screen multiplayer stuff squared away, and I'm going to be happy with Battle Hour. That's really all I want. The trailer and any Q&As with devs on top of that is just a massive bonus to me. But I hope you guys enjoyed chapter 25 of Dragon Ball Kakumi. Let me know what you're expecting from Battle Hour this weekend. Have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.
So, you are his girlfriend, huh? Let me tell you, living with a Saiyan is hard.
Well, yes, they are stubborn, and the only thing they care about is fighting. Broly spends a lot of time with me. We enjoy hanging out. And he is super kind, and we talk about our feelings.
Oh, really? You hear that, Goku?
Does he? That's very interesting. What do you think, Vegeta?
Run! I told you not to bring him, Kakarot! I f***ing told you!
I'm sorry. I'm hungry.
Vegeta, get back here!
Which parent are you? In the bustling city of Nutriville, a group of extraordinary individuals has emerged, known far and wide as the Superfood Parents. They are on a mission to transform their families' lives through the power of nutrition, one delicious bite at a time. Meet Chef Lakita Marie, the culinary mastermind behind the Superfood Parents playbook. With boundless enthusiasm, she welcomes you to embark on a thrilling journey to becoming a true superfood hero. But what exactly does that mean? In Nutriville, Superfood Parents are everyday heroes. These Superfood Parents lead the charge for better health, but not with capes. They lead with carrots, and whole food fats like avocados. And instead of masks, they lead with mangoes and berries. Fruits and vegetables are the disease-destroying arsenal of heroes. Are you a disease-destroyer superhero for your loved ones? Fruits and veggies fuel the mission of heroes like Veggie Vixen. Are you a Veggie Vixen for your loved ones? Dedicated to ensuring their loved ones thrive on a diet rich in faves, fruits and vegetables. Here's your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to guide your family to superhero status by reaching the highest levels of health and wellness daily. Become a plant-powered titan, a superfood avenger, or even a faves crusader by earning 5 points for every fruit or vegetable eaten. It's a fun-filled quest where nutrition meets excitement. All of the digital details are at superfoodparents.com for the full experience. Superfood Parents has also created workbooks, where you'll discover the tools you need for success. These workbooks give you the heroic strategies to craft your grocery list like a seasoned hero. Which means you now have a playbook to even track your weekly meals like a true champion. And engage in mind-bending nutritional education with word searches that will keep your family entertained and informed. So, are you ready to join the ranks of the Superfood Parents? Are you prepared to unleash the power of faves and make every meal a heroic endeavor? If so, flip the page of the Superfood Playbook and let's begin your journey to becoming the ultimate superfood hero.
To become a sponsor, just visit superfoodparents.com.
What I understand is I'm about to pound you so hard the boy's mother is going to be jealous.
Oh, can we not?
How did you get this strong? I trained all day yesterday.
Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Now, as shocked as I am to see the birth of a new fusion take place despite having Goku Black cornered with nowhere else to go, it would seem as though as the battle now begins to slowly turn in favor of our heroes, now couldn't have been a more perfect time to end this nightmare once and for all. Because if they don't see to it to go and use everything they have in order to ensure that Goku Black is destroyed and destroyed for good, then I'm afraid they are going to set themselves up for failure, as I'm sure that Goku Black will find a way out if our heroes are unable to stop him here and now.
As our story continues now, following the initial events of Goku Black having to be confronted by the unexpected arrival of Universe 10's Angel Cuss and Supreme Kaioshin Gowasu, to which even then with a very enraged Goku Black now looking to take action against both Cuss and Gowasu in not allowing for them to stand in the ways of his plans, was when Goku Black then went on to respond, "Now before I go and deal with you, Cuss, I want you to mark my very words here and now, Gowasu. For I want you to know that there will be no length that I wouldn't be willing to go to if it means ending your miserable life. As I would be foolish enough to have come this far only to have you ruin my plans yet again. Well, that won't happen. Not this time, Kaioshin. And if you truly think that by attempting to sever my lifeline connection by pretending to be my Supreme Kai, Black continues, then you are far more delusional than I assumed for you to be, because you wouldn't be able to complete the ritual in time for you to even have a chance to try it, you feeble old relic. And as for you, traitorous angel, once I'm done dealing with Gowasu, you're next." With Angel Cuss responding, "Well, now I believe that this newly discovered power of yours has finally gone straight to your head," Cuss adds, "and so for your sake, I would strongly advise for you to keep your distance from us if you understand what's best for you, Kaioshin." With Kaioshin Gowasu responding, "You are way too far gone and past the point of no return, Zamasu, for you are far too dangerous now to be kept alive, and as we stand before you here in Universe 7, we will do everything within our power and within reason that we can to ensure that you lose." To which, as Goku Black was then shown making his way towards Cuss and Gowasu, was when Goku Black then went on to shout, "And that's where you're wrong, because if I'm going to have everything that I've prepared so extremely hard for it to all come crashing down around me, then on my honor, I am going to make sure that by the time this day is over, that I go and take each and every single one of you who stand in my way right down with me if it's the last thing that I do. And so now go on then and let's see it. Let's see how far you are both willing to go in the name of stopping the all-powerful and all-eternal Zamasu. As lifeline connections or not, you will all lose." But unbeknownst to Goku Black, as he was making his way towards Cuss and Gowasu, there had only now appeared to be another individual that was now beginning to rapidly make their way towards Goku Black, as Goku Black then went on to continue, "And while I grow tired of these games that you all continue to play, it's time that we go and carry on with the first stages of my Zero Mortals plan, and that's by atomizing this entire star system along with everyone in it." But then, it was only from out of nowhere just before Goku Black was able to reach both Cuss and Gowasu, where from out of nowhere now to Goku Black's surprise, as it now appeared as though there was an individual that was seemingly shown punching Black, as this individual went on to then chime in, "Oh no you don't, and just where do you think you're running off to in a hurry, Kaioshin? Oh my head, what was that just now, and how was I not able to see it coming?" Black went on to then stop himself by questioning, "And just who is that? Wait, those outfits, no, but how? How did I allow for those apes to go and use fusion without me being aware of them doing it?" To which, lo and behold, in front of Goku Black from out of nowhere was where the newly created fusion of both Goku and Broly were shown having to clinch their fists upon being shown hitting Goku Black, as their fusion went on to then respond, "The why and how of what transpired isn't nearly as important as the here and now, Kaioshin, for you should have taken the opportunity of destroying Goku and Broly when you did, because what you are are about to experience will be the retribution of the highest order, so prepare to face a wrath like no other that was forged from the fires of the very powers that you sought out to go and destroy. And just for the record, you can refer to me as Crowley from here on, and while your failure to eliminate us before has now quickly backfired, I just want to go and let you know that no matter how powerful you think you are, and no matter what you went and did in order to reach such levels, I'm about to eclipse you and show you what real power truly is. As Vegeta was then shown looking on up in shock by them responding, I can't believe it. Kakarot and Broly united as one through the usage of the Potara earrings. Incredible, and what an insanely massive battle power that I sense coming from them as well, Vegeta continues. Oh, but will they be able to hold it against that monster is the real question here. Oh, and that's because the more power they wind up exerting during this battle, Vegeta adds, the faster they're going to end up burning right through their fusion, just like we did all those years ago when we battled against Merge Zamasu. Oh, and so we cannot run the risk of taking any chances here against that beast, because if their fusion gives out, then it's all over. Oh, Gohan, wake up, listen, Vegeta says. While Kakarot and Broly's fusion may be our best chance at destroying that bastard, there's no telling on how much time their fusion is going to have before they break through the Potara's limits, which will separate them. And so this is what I will need you to go and do, Vegeta says, for we will need to stand by Crowley's side and use every last bit of power that we have remaining within us, and from there going as far as to remain within their fusion's presence as we combine our efforts and destroy that coward once and for all. And so we will have to go and move fast because we don't have a whole lot of time on our hands either, to which right before Crowley was then shown having to transform, it only had now looked as though Crowley wanted to punish Goku Black for all that he had done, as Crowley then went on to continue, you were a fool to try and assert dominion over this world and knowing that we'd be right there to stand in your way of destroying it. But since you didn't seem to learn your lesson the first time, Crowley adds, maybe now you will start to see that despite your best efforts in trying to go and keep us all down, you only ended up digging your grave that much deeper as a result of your actions, and so now watch. To which it was only within that very moment as Crowley was shown channeling the innate power of Broly's side of the fusion by from there having to unleash his full-powered Super Saiyan transformation onto this surface was when Goku Black then went on to continue. Oh, say what? Oh no, what an incredibly massive battle power. This can't be real. It just can't, or I just refuse to have these mortals be what puts an end to my plans like this. For I must engage and find a way to adapt and overpower them while I still can, Black adds. Because if I was able to find a way to go and overpower these mortals before, then surely there must be a way for me to go and overpower them again now. But how can I do it is the question, Goku Black went on to contemplate upon seeing Crowley transform. Oh, well, no matter then, I'll find a way if it's the last thing that I do. And so now come on then and bring it on, mortals. Go on then, come and show me what you're made of while I go and do the same to you again. To which it was only then with Makaioshi and Goku Black and full-powered Super Saiyan Crowley then shown dashing towards one another was when Goku Black then went on to continue. Because if you believe that mimicking a god once again, just as you were shown doing with Vegeta when you battled against my fusion the first time, then you truly haven't learned anything since then, and I'll show you as to why. But before Goku Black could even do anything about it, it was only just then during the midst of battle as Goku Black went on to throw a punch with Crowley being shown dodging it was when Crowley then went on to respond. And that's where you're wrong, Kaioshin, because if anyone here between us was the one who truly never learned their lesson, then that person is you, Zamasu. For you should have already known what would have happened to you the moment you decided to try and come back. As an irritated Goku Black went on to respond, but why, you rotten wastes of space, as I refuse to fall by your hands ever again. For I will not have you go and do unto me as what you were shown doing to me before again. Do you hear me saying? Fusion or not, I will never allow myself to suffer like how I was shown suffering by your hands again. As this time it's over, because this time it will be you and your kind who will be the ones to suffer like I did. But even then, surprisingly enough, during the midst of battle, it didn't appear as though Goku Black's attacks were having any sort of effect on Karoli whatsoever, as Karoli went on to then grab onto Goku's punch by then responding, "Oh, is that so? Well, that wasn't too bad, but if you expect for our powers to fall to yours at this stage of the fight, then you're going to have to hit us a lot harder than that if you hope to be any sort of difference maker in this war against us, you pathetic excuse for a Kaioshin." "Oh, enough of this," Black went on to then shout upon being shown sticking out his arm, "for you will not go and try to make a fool out of me, Saiyan." In which, from out of nowhere, with Goku Black now being shown setting off a massive explosion in hopes of having to catch Broly within it, was when Goku Black then went on to continue, "For it's like I had mentioned to you all before, as I will tear you all apart and make you all suffer before I decide that my time with you is over, fusion or not. And just as it was before you fused, I will not lose." But then, it only had now appeared as though Karoli had a different answer, because with Karoli now shown dashing through the smoke and right towards Goku Black again, was when Karoli then went on to respond, "Then it's like we went and just said, in order for you to try and gain any sort of advantage against what Broly and Kakarot have become now, then you're going to have to hit us a lot harder and with far more power than what you're shown displaying against us now, because this isn't going to be enough, and you know it, Kaioshin." But then, it was only surprisingly enough back over with Cus and Gowasu, as the alternate future Zamasu was then shown teleporting in the sky, was when Zamasu then went on to quickly respond, "Honorable Gowasu, just please wait. Now I understand that this is not the best of times for me to go and speak to you, but I must advise for you to please listen to me, as I know that you are painfully aware of the things that must be done, and I urgently ask you to please listen to me, for you don't have to do this because I must be the one to go and do it. And as I find myself at a critical juncture reflecting deeply on the unintended consequences of my past actions," Zamasu says, "which have only inevitably led to the creation of this Goku Black, which is why you must not go and risk your life for this, because it was my life that he wanted to take, and so it should be my destiny to ensure that I am the one who takes his," with Gowasu responding, "Wait, you wish to do what now? But Zamasu, you do understand the risks behind accepting this, don't you?" with Zamasu responding, "I do, but whatever is meant to be will ultimately be, for I am sorry for all of this, Master Gowasu, because if I would have known that this would be who I would inevitably become, then I never would have went and gone down the path that I did, and because I understand that it was I who was the source of all this destruction, then it only makes sense that it should be me who faces him in the end, and not you. And so please," with Angel Cus having to then chime in, "I see, for he is trying to right the wrongs of his past, even if this Zamasu wasn't the one who went and started it all, and from what I am able to sense that's coming deep within his spirit," she adds, "and I can sense that his intentions are pure, Lord Gowasu, and so we must not deny him of this," with Gowasu responding, "Zamasu, so then this truly is you. This truly was who you were meant to become. For I am sorry that things did not turn out the way they should have been in this reality," Gowasu adds, "but I will not deny you of your destiny, especially if this is what you truly want to go and choose to do. But I want you to understand that I never intended for any of this to happen, nor did I ever wish for you to become the monster that you've seen and come face to face with before your very eyes," Gowasu says, "but I just want you to know that I am very sorry for failing you, Zamasu, and thank you for showing me that even if this was another reality where it happened, thank you for showing me that you were still able to change, and for you to have changed for the better. And as I stand here before you, an old man who is proud to have seen what could have been from his greatest of students. And so now please, we have to hurry then, for time is ticking as we speak. Now listen to what I say and relax your mind along with your spirit, and allow for me to pass on to you the connecting role of a Supreme Kaioshin to that of a god of destruction. And while I pass this down on to you, Gowasu says, open your mind and allow for your spirit to accept this as your newly gifted title. Now go and take this role and let it guide you down the path of ultimate enlightenment so that you may forge the power that you search for in order to stop this false destroyer and put an end to this nightmare of his once and for all. And so now please open your mind and allow for your spirit to take control of your future, Zamasu, for let this be what brings evil down while all in the name of having it be done through good. And so now let whatever fear that binds you onto this creature be liberated, for I want you now to go and open your eyes and accept this responsibility in being the newly appointed Supreme Kai to Goku Black's false status of Universe 10's God of Destruction, Gowasu says. To which seconds later within that moment, as Zamasu had then accepted the overall status of having to be connected to Goku Black, was when Zamasu then went on to respond, then I accept what is while I accept my role as also being Universe 10's new Supreme Kai to this monster's false title of being my connected God of Destruction, for I am now ready to make my move against him. And so thank you, Master, for I promise that I will not let you down and will do whatever it is that I would need to in order to finally stop him. But it was elsewhere down below as Goku Black was seemingly having to struggle very badly against Karoli was when Goku Black went on to maintain balance by then responding, "Oh, this shouldn't be possible. How is it that their fusion is so much more powerful than me when this was their first time that those two had ever went and joined bodies like this? I can't seem to injure them either, and so I'm running out of time here. All this can't be the limit to my strength, and so I have to continue to try, even if I somehow end up destroying my body in the process of doing it." To which, as Karoli was then shown smashing his way right into Goku Black, was when Karoli then went on to respond, "What's wrong, Kaioshin? I thought you said that you were so much stronger than I was and how you were going to rip us all apart and make us understand what true power feels like, because it only now looks as though you're having a bit of trouble backing up these claims that you've made the moment we've entered into this battle to fight you. And so what's wrong? Are you starting to lose your edge?" With an irritated Black responding, "Just you worms wait until I am able to reposition myself in this fight against you all, mortal. For you may be stronger than me now, but mark my words, just as I was shown doing before, I will find a way to overpower all of." But then, it was from out of nowhere, just before Goku Black was then shown having to finish, was when Ultra Ego Vegeta was then shown inserting himself in the fight by having to punch Goku Black and responding, "Oh, why don't you just shut that big loud mouth of yours and just do us all a favor and just die already, you annoying pile of stolen trash. For I'm sick to death of listening to you preach and ramble on and on about your power. And while we tried warning you that this was going to happen," Vegeta continues, "you and I both know that you're running out of time here, and it's only going to favor us in the long run while this continues, Kaioshin. And so you better get right with yourself here and now, because this will be as far as you will go." As Goku Black then went on to respond, "Why, that damn mortal, curse you, Vegeta. This entire situation has completely fallen out of my favor, and so I must ensure that they are all destroyed now before it's too late. Which only now means that I'm going to have to hit these worms with everything that I possibly have if I hope to make it off this planet without losing my life." "Well, I wasn't expecting for you to go and jump in the way you did," Karoli went on to then respond to Vegeta, "as I'm only going to assume that the reason as to why you did it was because you have a plan of some sorts, don't you? Because if you do, then now would be the best time to go and say what it is before he decides to try and attack you for getting in the way of our battle. And so what are you plotting, Vegeta?" "Oh, well, never mind him for a second, because our biggest problem here lies in your power output and burning right through your fusion time. And so I'd rather not chance you in having to burn out early, so I'm going to join you in taking that clown down for good myself, as I'm sick of looking at his stupid face. And so if we are to have a chance here to destroy him for good, then the best route to take will be for all of us to combine our efforts and power against him, while at the same time we go and run him down until there is nothing left that remains. To which, as Goku Black was then shown powering up, it had only become clear now that Goku Black was looking to go all out in finishing this battle for good, as Goku Black then went on to shout, "You Saiyans may unite as one and stand across from me as much as you want to, but you will never best me for as long as I continue to answer your call to battle, mortals. For I will not allow for my efforts to be ruined yet again. And so now I am done playing these games, for I will make sure that this is the last time that either of you mortals ever speak to me again." To which it was only as Vegeta and Broly were now prompted in having to unleash their full power was when Vegeta then went on to quickly respond, "Oh, hurry now then, it's now or never, and so let's finish this battle once and for all," with Broly responding, "Right, and so let's shred this monster and show him what our warrior race is truly made of. And as I will go and take charge first, and so now hold nothing back and let's end this forever, Vegeta," as it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of Goku Black's resurrection manga chapter number 20 semi-finale then comes to a close.
Actually, I'll go and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something with all of our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing. As not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link it all down in the description box below and pinned comment section. Now, I will go as far as to say that even though I am quite surprised to see Goku go and choose someone else to fuse with other than Vegeta, it would seem as though the odds have now been shown to be within our heroes' favor while they battle against Goku Black. And even though they may indeed house a very powerful and formidable fusion on their side, to ensure that Goku Black is destroyed, they must not falter or hesitate going forward, or they will risk losing everything they've been fighting so very hard for to protect along the way. And so you do not want to miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video, as before you leave, do make sure to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as subscribing to Unreal Ent Gaming's channel in case you are new around here. We thank you all for watching and hope you all have a wonderful day, everyone, as we'll see you all in the next one.
Hello! Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unreal Ent Gaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi!
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.
Vegeta, I don't understand. You've never allowed anyone to help you before in your life. Why start now? Why poverty?
Because I wanted him to reawaken the evil in my heart. I wanted him to return me to the way I was before. I was the perfect warrior, cold and ruthless. I lived by my strength alone, uninhibited by foolish emotion. What's the matter? Not winning as easily as you thought? I am a Saiyan of royal blood, the last of my kind. In my fingertips, I hold the power to destroy entire worlds. I'll shatter through my limits, in my own way, on my own terms. It is time to take back what is mine.
Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Oh dear, what a frightening and yet terrifying situation that Vegeta and our friends now have found themselves in, as I sure do hope that something changes between them soon, because while I fear that with the Saiyans struggling to make the most of this entire ordeal, the only ones left who are able to make a difference here are both Vegeta and Broly. But even then, if they are unable to find a way to go and put an end to this false god of destruction, then I'm afraid they will all be destroyed by the very end of this battle, along with the entire planet that they currently fight on as well.
As the story of Dragon Ball Kakumi continues, following the initial events of Dula, Salaga, and the Venerable Heir Amaron having to invade and attack Universe 6, with the opening narration going as far as to shed more light on the history involving Amaron, was when the narration went on to state, Amaron, the Venerable Heir, had read Dula's memories and put his finger on the wonders that he felt towards Salaga. For he understood much later that Amaron had sent Salaga to meet him because Dula could never have refused the proposal from the person that he admired the most, as the opportunistic nature of the Venerable Heir had led him to play on Dula's feelings in using them against him to win over his devotion. Dula was equally quick to understand this, but he didn't attach any importance to it since their respective objectives were so closely aligned. As indeed Dula and the others had shared a common vocation, glory certainly on different scales, it was by moving forward with such prestigious people that had convinced himself he couldn't dream of anything better. And as the echoes of his name had spread and merged with that of the magicians he admired, Salaga had always considered Dula to be his equal, and so he was learning to do the same and to see him as his most loyal companion. But then the Venerable Heir's efforts had bore fruit and brought them closer to the highest authorities in Universe 14, in which to that which poor demons could boast that have I left my mark on my era, as Salaga did many centuries before, Dula questioned, as Dula had wondered on this threshold of the final death knell of his life, for Dula had seen himself as a banal entity moving through the darkness, but paradoxically, his deepest wish was to not end up in oblivion, but to be rather at the center of the cosmos's brightest lights. To which moreover, when then having to venture back and seeing Dula having to battle against a fully controlled Super Saiyan Broly on planet Sadala, upon Dula having to also be shown unleashing his full power against him, as it was only upon Dula being shown having to have enough of Broly's antics was when Dula then went on to shout, "And with that, I surely intend to go out with a bang." And a bang indeed Dula was in fact intending on causing, because with Dula now shown having to give it his all in channeling all of the inner energy he had onto the surface and ensuring that he was going to destroy Broly once and for all, Dula ended up even going as far as to surprise Broly upon this initial power-up, as Broly then went on to say to himself, "His energy is concentrating into a singular point? He's not gonna." Salaga, Venerable Heir, thank you too for making my life so exciting, Dula says. But Broly by no means was going to have it, because with Broly understanding exactly what Dula was going to do was when Broly had taken initiative in attacking Dula by then shouting, "You really want to end your life? Exactly, Saiyan, and you'll be coming with me. You've put me through my paces and I've put all of my energy into trying to harm you, but it's no use, for you're much too strong strong to fight head on. But even then, the Death Pact increases my power tenfold by conferring on me all of the power of my predecessor's summonings. So I might as well tell you that you have no chance of survival. And to die in a fireworks display visible to an entire planet, that's the bare minimum that I deserve. To which it was only within that very moment, as a gigantic explosion was now shown emanating from the voids of space, as everyone on planet Sadala was able to see this, the entirety of this overall explosion had gone as far as to take Dula in sacrificing his own life as a means of getting rid of Broly, to which even during this display, as the other Saiyans were shown having to observe this and not believing as to what they were seeing, was when Kaba and Caulifla went on to then chime in, No, it's him! We need to hurry! Well now, you did it after all, the venerable Heir Amaron went on to then chime in, with Vegeta questioning, What? No, Broly! Well, if you want to go as far as to ask me, the venerable Heir went on to then chime back in, your friend had to give up the ghost to that explosion. Yes, I'm not sure if I even myself could have resisted it, with Vegeta responding, Broly, you're mad. But surprisingly enough, even then within the middle of the explosion, it looks as though Broly himself was not willing to go out like this, but instead, it had only now looked as though Broly was trying to do his best in condensing this explosion as a means of having to control it, because by no means was Broly willing to let up by having this be the end of him or be the end of anyone on planet Sadala as we currently have known it. So what Broly ends up doing is concentrating all of his energy in trying his best to condense all of this in one by only looking to get rid of Dula and Dula alone by having to save everyone in the process of having to condense such an explosion. It was only during the middle of this act alone, with the others having to observe this, was when the other Saiyans went on to then chime in, The explosion seems to stop expanding? What the hell are you doing? I forbid you to! That Saiyan, Amaron went on to then respond, I can't believe it, Vegeta responds, he's compressing the explosion! To which it was only during the middle of this, with Broly telling Dula to shut up as Dula was struggling in not knowing as to what was happening, was when Dula then went on to shout, No! This can't be! How? But it was already too late, because with Broly shown having to finally close his hands in marking the final end of Dula as we know it, the end result of this overall conflict involving Broly and Dula had only resulted in Broly condensing the explosion, so much so that not only was Broly shown having to save the entirety of planet Sadala, including both himself and Vegeta, but it had only now looked as though the only other individual that was seemingly caught within the middle of this explosion by perishing was none other than Dula himself, to which as soon as Broly was shown having to revert back down to his base form as he was caught by one of the Saiyans on his way back down onto the planet, was when one of the Saiyans went on to then chime in, Well done, my friend, you've saved us all and you can be proud of yourself for everything you've just did. To which as soon as Broly was put back down as he was calling out for Kale, with Kale also doing the same for Broly, it only had now looked as though both Kale and Broly were seemingly out of commission based on their overall battle that was shown taking place, as one of the other Saiyans went on to then shout, Listen, call a Tuffle doctor right now, for they need help. Please tell me that she's alright. Well, she's not in a very good condition, one of the Saiyans responds, but you can go as far as to thank her, Broly, for it's thanks to her that you were able to regain consciousness once again, with Broly having to utter, I'm sorry for everything. I didn't mean to. Kale, no, Kale, you mustn't move, one of the other Saiyans went on to then tell Kale. You're in no condition to be moving. Please remain where you are, as Kale went on to then utter, But Broly, it's not your fault, okay? I know, Broly responds, but then, it was only just from out of nowhere, with Vegeta shouting for Broly to move because something was just about to happen, where it was only now from out of nowhere, unbeknownst to Broly, with Amaron looking to attack him while he was blindsided as Vegeta was shown getting in the way, that ultimately had led to Vegeta saving Broly in the middle of this entire ordeal, as Broly was not paying attention as to what Amaron was shown doing, to which as a means of escape, as Broly was able to be successfully shown getting out of the way because of Vegeta, was when Vegeta was shown getting ready and standing against Amaron, with Amaron having to then respond, Very good, bravo, Vegeta. As I must say, as far-sighted as I may be, I must admit that I never thought even for a second that my subordinates would die here today, but they did, and so my silence is a congratulations, with Vegeta responding, Oh, please Please, spare us your petty words, with Amaron responding, "Oh, well, your wife is safe, my dear Vegeta, and that's what matters most, doesn't it?" And this began to hit Vegeta hard, because as soon as Vegeta started to remember Bulma was when Vegeta went on to say to himself, "I was so focused on him that I hadn't felt his ki reappear, and so what a relief. And so nothing seems to be going according to plan after all, eh, God of Destruction?" Vegeta questions. "Oh, no. Please don't think that your victory is a foregone conclusion," Amaron responds. "For I won't let you go, Vegeta, as I asked you to show me your maximum power and you didn't obey. Yet at the same time I've seen it in your recent memories, that power itself, but now, well, now I've lost my patience," Amaron says, with Vegeta then having to shout, "Watch out!" To which once again now from out of nowhere, as soon as Amaron was then shown once again having to attack all of the Saiyans that were shown below, was when in a gruesome fashion we only then get to see how multiple Saiyans were shown getting chopped up by one of Amaron's attacks, with no one who was shown remaining on the battlefield being strong enough with the exception of Vegeta in having to avoid and or counter such an attack. This entire circumstance in and of itself, surprisingly enough, had also gone as far as to trigger one of the admirals in becoming a Super Saiyan after having to see all of his Saiyan comrades be wiped out by this one singular attack that Amaron was shown unleashing. But it was only shockingly enough once again before this admiral was shown having to take any sort of action against Amaron was when Amaron was shown having to appear from out of nowhere behind the admiral and having to be shown completely slicing off one of his arms before he could even act upon attacking Amaron, to which even then as the situation had now become even more gruesome with Saiyans beginning to fall one by one on the battlefield by the hands of Amaron, there was essentially nothing that any other Saiyan could do about this overall situation, especially after being sliced yet again near his stomach, as all of this seemingly enough had come from Amaron wanting to see Vegeta's true power and wanting to see what Vegeta was truly capable of, and from that point not being shown getting that out of him. So instead, Amaron had gone as far as to make this his mission to wipe out anyone on the battlefield as a means of having to prove to Vegeta that his disloyalty and his dishonesty wasn't going to be tolerated, because with Vegeta not being able to do anything to show this power to Amaron, what Amaron was willingly about to do before anyone could act upon it was Amaron was shown sticking his arm out just before having to Hakai one of the Saiyans on the battlefield, until it was only from out of nowhere, as soon as Broly had gone as far as to question as to where Vegeta had went, was when Vegeta was then shown quickly dashing on in and having to deliver a thunderous knee to Amaron's face, which had not only gone as far as to garner Amaron's attention, but was also shown from there having to break off his mask, as Amaron then went on to respond, "Well now," Amaron went on to utter, "here it is. That's exactly what I saw. He used it." I didn't see him move, and yet Broly says, "Vegeta, he's awake! King Sadala is awake!" the Saiyans shout. "Where is that demon? What happened?" Sadala asks. "Please do not worry, your majesty, for the demon has been defeated by Broly, as only the masked man remains as the only demon left." "What a relief it is," Sadala went on to then utter. What is it really? Could it be?" To which lo and behold, in a spectacular fashion, with Vegeta's back now turned, as King Sadala went on to utter, "Prince Vegeta," we are only then within that very moment, upon having to gaze Vegeta and his newly found power having to manifest itself on the surface, go as far as to establish the fact that with Vegeta now having to bear the powers of Ultra Instinct, or at least in this case Ultra Instinct Omen, this had only now meant that Vegeta was indeed now ready for war, as it was only right then and there now during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Kakumi manga chapter number 25 special then comes to a close. Now, you can go and make no mistake about the fact that with Vegeta's foreshadowing from the very early beginnings of Dragon Ball Kakumi, in understanding the fact that in this particular story that was put together by the Kakumi team, we knew that Vegeta really wasn't going to have Ultra Ego per se, but instead to only see Vegeta go as far as to unlock the powers of Ultra Instinct now, one can only go as far as to imagine as to how powerful Vegeta is going to be as this battle with Amaron continues, because despite the fact that with Broly having to master his power, which I think was a really good choice in this story, but it kind of almost felt as though his overall engagement with Dula felt a little bit dragged out because Broly should have annihilated him from the very beginning. But even now with Amaron's army beginning to dwindle, we can only hope and expect to see Vegeta and company be able to annihilate Amaron once and for all. But to that, We're simply going to have to wait and see what comes out of this on April 25th. So again, I want to go ahead now and get your overall thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below, to which once again, I want to thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all so much for watching as always, to which once again, if you also just so happen to be new to the channel, then I do encourage for you all to go on over and smash that subscribe button on top of giving this video a big fat thumbs up by smashing that like button down below. Also make sure to check out and follow the official creators of Dragon Ball Kakumi, to which their links will be located down in the description box below as well. Tune back in for more, everybody. Thank you all so much once again for being here, and with all that being said, I will be seeing each and every single one of you down in the comment section below and in the next video. Take it easy, guys, and have a great day. Peace.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unrelent Gaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi.
Silent Cell. Me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.
Hello everyone, Majin Bird here. And today we're going to be talking about if Vegeta in the Namek Saga would have been able to beat Frieza if he went Super Saiyan. This topic I find very interesting because I believe that it's very layered in the sense that power as well as character will decide the outcome of this battle. Without further ado, let's get into the video. With the first question, is it possible? During the battle with Frieza in Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta faced numerous challenges. He made several attempts to intimidate Frieza and his allies by boasting about attaining the legendary Super Saiyan form. However, despite his claims, Vegeta was unable to achieve this transformation while on Namek. Ultimately, Frieza killed the Saiyan Prince, leaving the fate of the world in Goku's hands. It was later revealed that Vegeta had the potential to become a Super Saiyan all along, but was unable to unlock his power in time for his showdown with Frieza. In the Android Saga, it became clear that becoming a Super Saiyan required both a pure heart and an intense surge of anger, which Goku possessed but Vegeta initially lacked. The revelation that Vegeta possessed the potential to become a Super Saiyan from the beginning brings about speculation regarding the implications of awakening this form early. If Vegeta had achieved the transformation as intended during his battle with Frieza, it could have potentially altered the outcome of their fight. This earlier awakening might have leveled the playing field between the Saiyan Prince and the Galactic Tyrant, making the encounter less one-sided as depicted in the anime. The effectiveness of this transformation would have depended on the increase in power it would grant Vegeta, and which fighter would be the best suited to utilize his new profound potential to its fullest extent. In order to assess the potential impact of Super Vegeta during the battle with Frieza, it is essential to understand the power levels of the characters involved. According to the Dragon Ball Daizenshu 7, Frieza's maximum power level could reach up to 120 million. Meanwhile, Goku started the fight with a power level of 3 million before achieving the Super Saiyan transformation, which increased his power level to 150 million. Although Vegeta's specified power level for this battle is unknown, some deductions can be based on the information available. It is believed that Frieza initially held back significantly in his final form, which allowed Goku to keep up with him initially. Frieza would have needed to exert at least 2.5% of his maximum power to match Goku. However, Goku's superior martial arts experience might have given him an advantage in handling this level of power. Regardless, Frieza only needed to elevate his power slightly to regain the upper hand in the fight. The question at hand is how much power Frieza used to defeat Vegeta. It is believed that Goku is likely stronger than Vegeta at the moment. If that's the case, Frieza might have utilized less than 2.5% of his power to overpower Vegeta. However, since we don't know the exact strength of Vegeta, it's not worth delving too deeply into this speculation. Another important aspect to consider is Goku's Super Saiyan transformation, which significantly multiplied his strength. It is commonly accepted that this transformation increased Goku's power level by at least 50 times, based on his power level jumping from 3 million to 150 million. However, it's worth noting that this multiplier may not fully account for Goku's depleted state prior to his transformation. Super Saiyan Goku's power level increased to 150 million certainly gave him a significant advantage over Frieza, whose power level capped at 120 million. However, it's worth noting that Goku's victory over Frieza wasn't solely reliant on his increased strength. If Super Saiyan only brought Goku up to Frieza's level, his exceptional skill could have tipped the scales in his favor, or even if he was slightly weaker, he might have found a way to beat Frieza. The significance of Super Saiyan transformation lies in its ability to raise Goku's power level to match Frieza's, allowing them to fight on a relatively even playing field. It ensured a fair confrontation between the two opponents. Now when it comes to Vegeta, if we were to contend with Frieza, matching Frieza's strength would necessitate Vegeta's power at base level to be around 2.4 million. Should Vegeta possess the level of strength, the outcome of their battle will primarily come down to who is the better fighter. What makes this matchup intriguing is the contrasting styles between Vegeta and Frieza. Both are accustomed to utilizing overwhelming power to defeat their adversaries rather than solely relying on skill. This doesn't imply that either of them is a subpar fighter, but if faced with an opponent of equal strength, then they would need to adapt their usual tactics to secure victory. That being said, it's hard to believe Vegeta would have been this powerful, and here's why. If you compare the fight Goku had with Frieza in contrast to Vegeta, his performance was significantly better, and to the audience it was clear Goku was the strongest character present aside from Frieza. So to say Vegeta's power level would be that close to Goku's is hard for me to believe, and more than likely isn't a wide enough gap between the two. However, I don't think it's far-fetched to say Vegeta's power level was higher than 1 million, and he was stronger than Neo-fused Piccolo, and here's why. When Frieza enters his final form, it's not only Vegeta who has to tell the Z-Fighters that Frieza was present in the area, meaning he was able to detect Frieza when they weren't, but he also was the one who saved Gohan from certain death when Piccolo couldn't. As we know as Dragon Ball fans, Piccolo has and will always lay down his life for Gohan if he needs to, but in the moment, only Vegeta was able to see Frieza's attack. But not only that, react to it as well. Piccolo makes a mention of Vegeta's incredible power as following his Zenkai recovery as well, so I can safely say at this point he was stronger than Piccolo. And we know Piccolo bare minimum was over 1 million since he was able to fight with second form Frieza. If we set up the scale, Goku would be over everyone at a power level of 3 million, and Piccolo would be around 1 million. So Vegeta would have to fall somewhere in the middle of them two. Enough of a gap to be stronger than Piccolo, but much weaker than Goku, which would in my opinion comfortably put him at 2 million. Now that we've determined the range for Vegeta, let's see how he would fare against Frieza. With a power level of 2 million times 50 for Super Saiyan will put him at 100 million, which would make him stronger than Final Form Frieza, but weaker than Frieza at full power. What we know about Frieza from watching the show at this point in the series is that he requires a certain amount of time to raise his power higher than 50%, which would mean that Vegeta would have to let Frieza get stronger and stronger than him. So in theory, Vegeta would initially indeed be strong enough to beat Frieza if he went Super Saiyan. Now, the next big question that arises, can he do it? As we know, Vegeta's pride in addition to his Saiyan curse in many occasions has been the downfall of our prince, in no specific way other than the fact that Vegeta as we know him most of the time doesn't finish the job. I was presented with the argument recently that Vegeta would allow Frieza to go to his full power only for Frieza to then in turn kill Vegeta, and this would be because of his arrogance and things of that nature. This was then backed up with the fact that Vegeta was egging on Frieza to transform since his final form, and Vegeta at other times has let his opponent get over on him. Notably with Perfect Cell, and you could even say with Buu to an extent, since he chose to fight Goku instead of dealing with Buu earlier, which in turn made Buu stronger than him, but it's a bit of a reach in my opinion. Regardless, that's the stigma on his character, and in this case, that Vegeta does let him do that, the answer to the question would be no, he wouldn't be able to beat Frieza at full power. Now, contrary to this, I would argue myself personally that I think Vegeta wouldn't let Frieza get to full power, and I would say that naming Vegeta's character is different than his Android and Majin counterpart. I think this is due to the supposed end of Dragon Ball Z taking place in the Namek Saga, so certain story elements were written as such. Vegeta stopped seemingly being cold-hearted, though he never truly seemed evil, at least to those who weren't deserving of it. He teams up with Gohan and Krillin, characters he was trying to kill a season prior, and even saves them at times when he isn't obligated to do so. You could say that he needed help in a lot of cases, which would attempt to excuse this. However, Vegeta as we know him doesn't take help from anyone, especially as a first option. It's not until he's pushed to the brink by another character does he put his pride aside and receive it. However, he doesn't exhibit this during the Namek arc. Another thing about Namek Saga Vegeta is that he beats his opponents and finishes the job, especially when he's stronger than them. This saga has been the biggest Vegeta kill count in the series, if you're not counting all the people he killed in the World Tournament. There's also a very strong story here with Frieza. This is the person that in a sense was Vegeta's hell incarnate, and he has every reason to end Frieza's life. And the scenario that we've seen Vegeta in a sense be given this opportunity, he went for it. However, I don't think Vegeta would beat Frieza even if he could, and the reason is something similar to what happened in Resurrection F, which is simply that Frieza would play into Vegeta's arrogance and find a way to come out on top by any means necessary. But that's just my thoughts on it anyways. What do you guys think? For everyone who have made it to the end of the video and walked with me on this journey, I thank you. You're an irreplaceable fan that I'd like to be a part of the main Majin Bird family, and I implore you to join the Dragon Ball HQ Discord server in the description. Here I'd like to garner a core fan base of Dragon Ball fans where we can celebrate and discuss the miracle that is Dragon Ball. Thank you.
It looks like someone's been doing their push-ups, sit-ups, and drinking plenty of juice. Why don't you and I do some private training?
OMG, I would so love to learn how to do the Kaioken.
You bet! I'll even show you my special power pole technique.
Goku, you are so rad. Dad, we're just going to train. Stop being weird.
The only thing weird here is Kakarot putting his hands on my baby girl!
Daddy, you have done this so many times. When Goten and I were hanging out, you overreacted like a total geek.
I want to take off your pride.
You bastard!
And when Yamcha offered me flowers, you knocked out his teeth.
Hello. You come around here often? Oh, wait, Vegeta, that's your... Oh my god. I flirted with a monkey. I almost committed bestiality. Ah! You're still a monkey.
Are you feeling angry, humiliated? Is that it? Fool! You
In today's video, we are going to piss off the Dragon Ball community as Valentine's Day is on its way, and in today's video we will discuss why Broly X Sheilai is weird, and arguably the weirdest ship in Dragon Ball history outside of one ship that cannot be defeated as being the weirdest, which is Tarbell and Gyur, and the reason why this has to win is because of the fact that it's not only the weirdest ship, but it actually technically exists. So you can't beat something that actually exists in the Dragon Ball universe, as Gyur is actually Tarbell's wife. But either way, going back to what we were talking about with Broly and Sheilai, it all starts off with us discussing the huge elephant in the room. And of course, this is the racial compatibility. Now, we've seen some interesting colored humanoid-like characters in the Dragon Ball universe. Characters like Jace and Salza, and even you have a character like Recoome who looks completely human even though he's technically an alien. So I guess maybe it's theoretically possible that, you know, Broly and Sheilai could have a kid, and if you know anything about the shipping community, not only have they shipped Broly and Sheilai together, but they've given them kids. Now, when you consider this, and the fact that we're not even fully sure how they would be able to breathe, that's just the icing on the cake as to why this is weird, because if they did have a kid, what would the kid look like? I mean, would you have like a completely green kid? I mean, it's just getting weird just imagining them having a kid on top of the fact that, you know, obviously they're two totally different species visually. And then when we move on to the other reason, we have to talk about the fact that Broly is not a romantic character. Now, that's not to say that Vegeta and Goku are, you know, Romeo as compared to Juliet, but in the case of Broly, I mean, you're literally talking about probably the most socially underdeveloped adult in the Dragon Ball universe, and this is a major statement considering the fact that the main character of the Dragon Ball series is Goku. But when you think about it, because of the experiences that Goku had when he was a kid, especially meeting Bulma, he had a lot of social development compared to Broly. And when you actually look at Goku and Broly's lives, they're actually rather similar to each other when you look at the parallel events of their lives. Both of their lives were completely changed as kids, as they were basically shipped over to another planet. Both lost a father or a father figure in the case of Grandpa Gohan and Paragus, and many years later, both of these characters reunited with other Saiyans. So, Goku and Broly have a lot in common, where they basically had to grow up in a wild-like setting and kind of figure out how to survive on their own. But because of the experiences that Goku had with Bulma, he went through a lot of different experiences, as obviously Dragon Ball is based off of Journey to the West, and he developed a lot as a character, whereas Broly, as a grown adult, basically met other living beings that are sapient at a much later age in his life, and as a result of that, his social development is completely stunted, even compared to a character like Goku. So when you consider that, and the fact that Sheila is taking on somewhat of like a Bulma-like role, where she's kind of like his big sister, holding his hand through these awkward situations, you kind of get yourself in a situation where it kind of feels wrong for Sheila to end up with Broly. Whereas, like, Broly's kind of like the muscle that, like, protects Sheila and Lemma, where they're kind of like his pseudo-parents. But for her to actually, like, be in a relationship with Broly just seems weird. Like, when we go back and we look at that scene where Broly was defending her on Frieza's spaceship against that random alien guy, I interpreted that scene as Broly was just kind of trying to be, like, a big, strong brother, or, like, a masculine essence in her life to protect her from that guy. I never felt of it being something like a romantic scene or Broly's in love with her, and it's just kind of weird to even think of a character like Broly ever having any sort of romance at all. You could also say that, well, Chi-Chi obviously ended up with Goku, and she kind of holds his hands through trying to have a normal life too, and in the case of Chi-Chi, at least Bulma and the other characters that Goku met throughout his life during the earlier parts of Dragon Ball helped him grow enough that he could be a quote-unquote husband, even though Goku didn't even really understand what marriage was when he was originally promising that he was going to get married to Chi-Chi. So as a result of all of that, guys, it just doesn't really fit. It just seems like Broly and Sheila were designed to be like a brother-sister friendly type of relationship, and for the community to ship it, I mean, by all means, be creative, you know, put your fan fiction out there, it's all fun and games, but ultimately it's just always felt very weird. Very, 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 very weird.
Wait. What? So you're this massively powerful, half-human, half-alien super warrior.
I mean, saying that about myself feels a little conceited, but...
What I'm saying is, you can dodge bullets, much less any attack I throw at you.
Well, yeah, honestly. Why do you ask?
No reason.
Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the garden, by the door, in the bedroom, on the floor. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the middle of the